Hi guys, happy new year. Welcome back to Ask Dr. Ada. So I know it's already February and nothing happened on this channel in January. Well, I have a good reason. So all of January, actually in the beginning of January, Kemi started daycare. My mother-in-law had been here with us and then she left to go back home. And Kemi started daycare and oh my god, she was sick every week for the entire month of January. She first had runny nose, then coughing, turned to croup. She had 2 ear infections, all in the month of January. So January was really busy for me, for all of us. It was very stressful, and there was just no way I could get to film. So I'm really sorry. We're starting in January, and we're starting in February, and hopefully things go well. So I don't know, hopefully if this video gets to you, it's in a very different format. This is me shooting with my iPhone. Another long story, but we had lots of technical difficulties in the last 2 days, and I said I want to put something out. Don't mind my nails. I want to put a video out this weekend, and if this is how it's going to come, I'm very sorry, but I think the quality is not that bad, and you can get the message. We're just trying to pass knowledge across. So however we get it across to you, doesn't matter. Okay, so this week what we're going to talk about is how to take care of your baby that gets a cold, because we're in winter in this part of the world. Other parts of the world, like back home, there's Hamatan. Just how to take care of your baby when your baby gets a cold, so like cold, cough, runny nose, all those kind of things. So just stick around and I'll show you all the things I do for Kemi and all the things that we recommend as pediatricians for you to take care of your baby when they get a cold. So stay with us right here. Alright guys, so first things first, when you have a cold in this time of the year, the mom, dad, anyone takes care of the baby, you need to wash your hands all the time. Like, there's no other way to prevent spread of infections, especially viruses that cause colds, except by washing your hands. You have to wash your hands. You touch your face, you change a diaper, you feed the baby, before, after, you have to wash your hands all the time, because lots of viruses are going around. Right now in this part of the world, in the US, influenza is going around. It's pretty serious. Influenza is a virus that can give you cold symptoms, also gives you very high fever and body aches. It's very dangerous for babies and children who are under the age of 2, pregnant women, and old people, so above the age of 65. There's a vaccine, but everybody doesn't believe in the vaccine, and that's kind of where the problem comes, because a lot of people who are sick now or hospitalized right now with influenza never got the vaccine. This year the vaccine wasn't perfect, but still I still recommend everybody to get it. I got the vaccine, Kemi got the vaccine. When you get it for the first time, you have to get it twice. So Kemi got it twice, and she didn't get flu. She did get colds. The viruses that probably caused her cold were not influenza, so thankfully we didn't have to deal with that. So you have to wash your hands, you have to get your influenza shot. I don't want people to confuse the influenza that causes the high fever and the runny nose and cough and all of that with what people call the flu, or like the flu bug. That's one that causes vomiting and diarrhea. That's very different. Influenza causes more upper airway or upper respiratory issues, while the flu bug causes vomiting and diarrhea. So let's not confuse those two. Then the other thing that I usually like to recommend is a humidifier, right? So if you have an infant in your house or a baby that has a cold, very important that you get a humidifier. Around this time of the year, the weather is very dry, so you see the humidifier that we use in the room for Kemi. It's very important that you use one to kind of moisten the air. If not, they just kind of wake up and they sound like they're very stuffy and all of that. And humidifiers are actually good for adults too. So now that Kemi is sleeping in a pack and play in our room, we have the humidifier on in our room, definitely when she has colds, and just kind of throughout the cold weather season. It is what we call steamy bathroom. So steamy bathroom is another way of kind of moistening the airway that the baby breathes. It kind of loosens up like all the congestion and everything, so the baby doesn't feel so congested. And as an adult, if you ever have a cold, it's so miserable. You can't breathe out of one nose, you can't breathe out of the other nose. So steamy bathroom is very good. How you do it is pretty simple. you go to the bathroom, you turn on the hot water, and the hot water steams up the entire bathroom, and you sit in the bathroom with the baby in your arms, kind of like a steamer or a steam room. Okay, obviously not everybody anywhere can afford to have hot water running out of a tap, which I completely understand. So something else you can do is you can safely boil water in a kettle, in an electric kettle next to the baby's bed while you're there for like 20 minutes and kind of watching, you know, obviously don't be close to the electric kettle with your child, but try and incorporate some steam into the room where you are with your child. You can also boil hot water in a pot or whatever is kind of easier for you. Basically, we're just trying to get some steam into the air, which kind of helps the baby. The other thing that you can do that also helps is nasal saline and suctioning. So I'm going to show you the ones that we use for Kemi. This is the saline drops. Very simple way of making it. I'm going to leave in the comment box in the description bar below how you can also make your own saline at home. Or I can probably also leave it like in the page here, but this is very simple how you make your own saline at home. All these things are just means of lubricating the airway from the nose and a little bit further behind, and to kind of any congestion, runny nose, or thick mucus or catarrh in the baby's nose can be loosened up so you can get it out. And then when you loosen it up, then you can suck it out either with a bulb or with this other contraption, this other thing called a nose feeder. Personally, I love the nose feeder. It's very, very effective. The bulb is okay, but it doesn't get as much out as the nose feeder. You are kind of in control of the amount of pressure that you suck. You kind of suck to get all the mucus out of the baby's nose. And because if you see the baby has a lot of mucus, then you want to be a little bit more aggressive in getting it out. Now I would say you don't have to do this like every moment for the baby. If the baby is really congested, you can do it like 2 or 3 times a day. Try not to do it for more than 5 days in a row. Definitely try not to use a lot of the saline for, I would say, more than 3-4 days in a row. For the baby, when you're trying to get all the mucus out. You know, if a baby has a cold and they don't have a fever and they're just really, really congested, these are the things that we want you to do. Even if they have a fever, we still want you to do these things. Lots of fluids, so water if the baby is 6 months and above, you know, or Pedialyte, or ORT, oral rehydration therapy. If the baby is not drinking as much, very important. Okay, we want the baby to be able to get enough fluids in them. You have to monitor how many wet diapers the baby is making. Make sure it's still the same number that the baby normally makes and not less. Now, if your baby is going through all of these things and then also has a fever and also has a cough or anything like that, please, 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 this may have gotten definitely further than you can manage at home. You want to go to your doctor so they can evaluate the baby. Other things can be going on. Ear infection, pneumonia, CROUP, which brings me to what Kemi had. So during the course of the month of January, Kemi also had CROUP. I told one of the commenters on my page that I'm going to talk about it. It was a lot for me because at the time I was alone with Kemi. My husband was not available, and she just woke up one night and she literally was coughing and coughing and coughing, and it sounded like a harsh cough, like a cough like a man would cough. They usually call it a barking cough or a seal-like cough, but it's very, very disturbing, and it just looked like she was, you know, having a lot of trouble with the cough. So because it was like 4 a.m. in the morning, and I knew that, you know, if you sit on CROUP, it can get a little bit worse, especially in children who are less than 2. I took her into the emergency room. When we got there, the treatment for CROUP is steroids, which is what she got. CROUP happens because of just also viruses that cause colds. It's also a separate, there's other different viruses that cause CROUP. But when it's in the cold season and it's winter, there are lots of viruses. You get one, that one goes, you get another one. So one of the viruses can cause CROUP, and CROUP is literally like swelling in the airway, and that swelling kind of cough makes you have that barking cough. And then steroids help reduce the swelling. A lot of children only need 1 dose of the steroid, which is what Kemi got in the emergency room. Unfortunately, her cough didn't get better within the 24-hour that they had talked about, so we got a prescription for 3 days of like a lower dose steroid, which really helped her. So if your child is coughing significantly and it sounds barky or sounds like harsh or just sounds very uncomfortable, please don't sit on it. Take your baby to the hospital to be seen by definitely give them some Tylenol, which is also acetaminophen, or also paracetamol. Look for their dose, give them the right dose so they can kind of help with them going through the symptoms. So, finally, rest. You have to rest. The baby has to rest. It's very important. If the baby goes to daycare or someone but someone can watch the baby for a few days at home, it's very important that you keep the baby home. And then also, just so you know, typical cold, so the typical virus infection, that there's no high fever, the baby doesn't look like it's anything really significant going on, usually can take up to 5 to 7 days to get better. When Emmy started getting sick, she literally took a full 7 to 10 days to get better. She had runny nose, then cough, then ear infection. So all those things kind of put together, it was just a very tough time for her. So I just wanted to make this quick video to let you all know about all this, the ways you can manage babies when they have these cold symptoms. If you have any questions or any concerns, please leave your comments below this video, or leave your comments on my page on Instagram, and I'll get to answering all of them. And I know this was shot on an iPhone, but I think, you know, it's very important for me to pass the message and the knowledge across. Sometimes trying to make all the logistics perfect usually is what slows me down from making my videos. I always know what I want to talk about, but some camera thing, some light thing, some editing thing always stops me. So I've just taken it over myself that I have to make a video, and I have to, you know, this is what is on my mind and this is what I'm passionate about, and however way I can pass it across to you, I will. So please, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe to my page, and I will see you on the next episode coming up very soon. Have a good one. Bye.